Professor Paul Tambyah.
Friends, fellow Singaporeans, thank you all for coming to this rally for Kung Wai Yin, SDP's candidate for Bukit Panjang constituency. It's an honor and a privilege to be here this evening speaking to you. Before I go into the main points of my talk, however, I would like to address 2 points which were brought up by PAP speakers on healthcare yesterday. First, my friend Dr. Chia Shi Lu, the head of orthopedics at Singapore General Hospital, claimed that in a system with free healthcare, patients have to wait a really long time for essential cancer therapy. And so, therefore, Singapore should not have free healthcare. First of all, the SDP has never asked for free healthcare. We do not want handouts. We want a fair, universal health insurance scheme. Second of all, in the UK National Health Service, you do not have to wait for emergency surgery. It's only elective surgery that you have to wait for. But third, and most importantly, the waiting times in Singapore are also very long. We know this from a parliamentary question which was asked in 2012. And this is the most recent data I could get from the Ministry of Health website. According to this response from Singapore's Ministry of Health, the median waiting time for subsidized patients for orthopedic surgery, for gastroenterology, or for kidney consultation is between 1 and 2 months. Now, in addition to that, there are 4,000 patients, or 0.1% of 4 million patients, who have to wait 6 months in Singapore for a medical consultation. Now, surely that's too long, 6 months, and you still have to pay for your consultation, mostly out of pocket. Is that acceptable? No. So, Dr. Chia, with all due respect, even in a system where you have to pay upfront, you still have waiting times. So we have a long way to go. Now, the second PAP statement on healthcare was widely circulated on the internet. When I was a young kid, I used to like to go to my uncle's office in People's Park. Because in People's Park, there used to be this place where these people would sell buay koyok, right? They would hantam the subjects really, really hard until they are black and blue, and then they would collapse on the ground, and then they would rub this koyok on them, and then magically they would jump up and run about. For a kid, that was very exciting. And I thought about those koyok sellers last night when I saw the video of Minister Lim Swee Say talking about healthcare subsidies. He actually admitted that before a certain date, and he didn't use the date, but we all know the date was May 2011, in Singapore, people used to say, 在新加坡可以死，不可以生病. But he said that the solution to that is MediShield Life. To me, that sounds like those koyok sellers. Because he says that when MediShield Life appears, these bruises will disappear like magic. But he didn't tell us all the facts. The reality is that in MediShield Life, you still have a deductible. What that means is the first $1,500 for C-class patients or the first $2,000 for B2 patients, you have to pay. You either pay it out of pocket or you pay it through MediSave. Now, most elderly people don't have much MediSave. So they either go to their neighborhood along and borrow the money, or they tap on their children's MediSave. And that's a terrible way of passing the cost on to the next generation. And this stuff about the Along is not made up. Credit Counseling Singapore has shown that one of the top 5 causes of bankruptcy in Singapore is unexpected medical costs. This is not acceptable in a developed country. In addition to the deductible, Minister Lim also did not mention the co-payment, which can be from 3 to 10%, as well as the cap. Once your hospital bill reaches a certain level, you have to pay 100% of that under MediShield Life. Now, this is uniquely Singapore. In no other national health insurance in the world is there a cap on how much the insurance pays. There's usually a cap on how much you pay as a patient, but there's no cap on how much the insurance will pay if it's a compulsory national health insurance scheme. And the reason for that is because the PAP scheme is based on profits, not on people. And the government has recognized this by raising the MediSave minimum sum. If the MediShield Life scheme was really such a good scheme and was universal health insurance, then why do we need more and more money in our MediSave account? To me, this is morally wrong. It's like persuading these old grandmothers to spend their hard-earned savings on koyok that doesn't work. Others have been asking us about SDP raising taxes to fund social spending. Now, we have very clearly stated in our economic policy, we want to raise the taxes of the top 1% to a level that they were in Singapore in the year 2000. So that's SDP, top 1% in the year to level as it was in the year 2000. And this is what Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan says will drive Singapore to bankruptcy. On the other hand, you have DPM Taman, who says he wants to raise taxes on the top 5% of income earners. So it seems like the PAP is divided. 1% bankrupt, 5% okay. You know which side we are standing on. As you know, I'm a medical doctor and a university professor. I've joined the SDP as an active volunteer and lately as a member. And the reason why I did this is because I was increasingly frustrated with what I saw every day at work in the public healthcare system. We have some of the best doctors and nurses and allied health professionals and health maintenance experts. Some of you are here in the crowd. Good to see you. But unfortunately, our healthcare financing system is based on some morally questionable assumptions. The PAP-led government doesn't understand or doesn't want to understand that none of us wants to get sick. We don't want to get chemotherapy. We're not going to get open heart surgery just because it's free or it's cheap. The current healthcare system demands heavy co-payments and high deductibles, and this punishes people who are sick through no fault of their own. We try very hard to stay healthy, but our genes, our environment, these are beyond our control. We need a new healthcare financing plan. We need the SDP's healthcare plan. With the SDP in Parliament, we can ask questions to make sure that the healthcare system will not leave anyone behind. The Prime Minister said the healthcare system must break even. That is not possible. You cannot break even without punishing sick people or restricting care. And that is the difference between the PAP and the SDP. The PAP feels that we should invest in people, in their health, in their housing, in their education. We don't want handouts. We don't want welfare dished out by the aristocrats. These are the values of the SDP. People have said this election is all about values, and I agree. You want people who value people. That's the SDP people. You don't want people who value profits. So that is the fundamental difference between the PAP and SDP. We trust the people of Singapore. We know that we are an educated and mature people. We can look after our own lives. We can look after our own money. Every month we put aside 40% of our own money, and we were promised that at age 55 we could take it out to invest, to spend on an annuity, or to do some lifelong dream. Now we are told we cannot be trusted. Just because there are a couple of uncles who spend their money on wine, women, and song, the rest of us get punished? Where's the logic of that? This is not right. CPF money is our money. The SDP has proposed that individuals who want to keep their money in CPF and earn a stable 2.5 interest rate can continue to do so. The rest who want to take it out to spend on some lifelong dream or to invest on their own on an annuity, they should be allowed to do so. We are adults. Stop treating us like children. It is a great honor to be here today to speak on behalf of Kung Wai Yin, who is the SDP candidate for Bukit Panjang. Wai Yin literally lived the Singapore dream. He signed on in the Navy, did well as a specialist, and then moved on to a multinational company. He has a beautiful family with a charming wife and the cutest 3-year-old you've ever seen. Go and look up on YouTube the video of his 3-year-old asking you to support SDP, support Kung Wai Yin. It's really, really cute. Wai Yin could have lived the Singapore dream, progress in his work, in his family, have a comfortable life, but he chose to move out of his comfort zone to join the SDP. Why? The reason is because he is someone with values. The values that we care about. He values the people of Singapore. He does not value profit and comfort like some other people. He joined the SDP and has been really hardworking in our ground ops. He's been active in food distribution, in home visits, and yes, he actually allowed me to say this. He once was Danny the Bear. I've gotten to know him better over the last few days, and I find he communicates and connects very well with residents. In fact, I think that when you vote him into Parliament, he will not only be your voice in Parliament, but he will also be the taikor that you can talk to about local problems and local issues, and he will be able to relate and understand you. So finally, thank you for coming once again to this second rally of this campaign. We launched the campaign in January. We want to have a good, clean campaign that allows Singaporeans to make decisions on the issues, to decide on what kind of people they want to lead them. People with values, people who value people, not people who value profits. We don't want to degenerate into name-calling or incidents from the last century. The SDP will take the high road. We trust the people of Singapore to make the right choice, to decide on what is good for themselves, ourselves, and our children. We hope you will let us be our voice in Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Paul Tambyah.